DCE for Abura Sebu-Kwamankese has been ordered to immediately put in place measures to ensure the safety of pupils in the district following a JoyNews report on the poor state of 10 schools there. This was contained in a letter signed by Minister of Local Government and Decentralization and Rural Development Dan Botwe to the DCE, cited by JoyNews. My colleague Richard Kwejanyako has a copy of that letter, but first here is the feature we put together by Kojo Nyako.
Public basic schools in the country just reopened for the second term of the academic year. And the joy of every school pupil is to return to school and sit in a safer and a comfortable classroom for lessons. But that appears to be an expensive commodity for some school pupils here in the Abura Sebu-Kwamankese districts. For most of them, their already weak buildings they were studying in before the vacation have collapsed, and that leaves them with very little option.
As you can see behind me, this is the classroom block housing the KG and the primary. Before school vacated, the upper part of the structure was ripped off by rainstorm. We managed to roof it, but 2 days to the reopening, the entire block was ripped off again by rainstorm as a result of the weak nature of the structure.
Samuel Botwe is the head teacher of a Saman AME Zion Basic School. He says the school is overwhelmed with the weak nature of the structures and the fact that the school pupils would not have a good place to learn.
Because of the poor nature and the dangerous nature of the classroom, we have managed to secure temporal permission from a church where the students are, the primary students are currently staying, but they are not learning because there are no chalkboards or marker boards for them to learn. And the size of the church itself, it is not conducive for all the desks to be put in there. We don't have ICT, say computers for ICT. There's none. We don't have any. Electricity source to the school we have, but it is not all that stable. It fluctuates. A lot of challenges.
Nancy Abio heads the Mori DA Basic B School. A visit to her school revealed cracks on the walls. The roof of the story building the children are studying under has been ripped off, but nothing has been done for many months. When it rains, disaster strikes.
The floor and the beams are all coming down. I quite remember one of the teachers was around when they fixed a window, and the window also came out just because of the rusting of the hinges. So the children are in danger because even in the classroom, you realize that the beams will be falling in bits, which is affecting learning. When it comes that way, the teachers and the children find it difficult to stay back in the classroom. Then, around to the compound, you can see that one of our old buildings, the first building, has also sunk. If I say it's sinking, it means it's still going. But this one, it has gone down. So anytime it rains, it flows over to the veranda and then enters the classroom to spoil the books that you've stored. And that leads the school to be out of session for a whole day. Let the water from the classroom and then tidy up all those that have been soaked.
This is also the Strafa DA Basic School in the same district. The school pupils have nowhere to go except to put up a temporary structure. Ezekiel Lanson is the headmaster of the school.
Just last month, that was in March, last 2 months, there was some torrential rains that ripped off my GHS building. And currently, the children have nowhere to sit and study. So what we've done is to make a temporary structure, and this very temporary structure is what is used in housing the GHS 3 students. This situation is affecting teaching and learning. Currently, this classroom has no permanent chalkboard. So what we do is we have a white board, a marker, a very small one. So as and when we need it, then we come to fix it here, then we teach the children. Because of that, our KG 1 and 2 have been merged. It's now a multi-grade class. So we've now sent class Form 2 to KG 1 class. So currently what we've done is we've written to GS, to our district director, notifying her about the situation here. And then she has also given up a covering letter to the district assembly. So the DC has come to see the situation or the problem at hand here, and it's assuring that the government will do something, so he'll forward it up.
The situation is dire for many of the schools here. Isaac Donko is the head teacher for the Asemase AME Zion Basic School.
Now, our main challenge is the structure, or where the peoples will live and study. It collapsed last term, and the PTA tried to raise it, but a rainstorm came to collapse the structure they tried to raise. So when we opened today, students came. They started clearing up the place. But because they did not find a comfortable place to live, they have all dispersed to their various homes. So this is the main challenge we are facing in the school. And it's causing other students to also stop from coming to this place. They are finding themselves to the nearby schools like Abakrampa, Pepeja, and other places where they can find comfortable place to study.
The DC for the district, Winivans Obriyebua, says the assembly is getting overwhelmed with reports of weak school structures and collapsed school buildings as a result of the rainstorm that hit the area.
Most of our schools have gotten their roofs ripped off, and it is also affecting teaching and learning in the various schools. This one, for instance, we've gone around most of the communities, and we are experiencing such disasters. Currently, the best option for us to go is to get the roofs fixed. But the assembly, as we are all aware, we are challenged financially, and we are overwhelmed with the degree of damage which the storm has caused to our schools. Currently, we cannot house most of our children in the schools. So the immediate steps for us to take is to find them some place to have the schools being organized. Thereafter, as in the interim, but we should get a lasting solution to these challenges. So it's an appeal we are making to all well-meaning Ghanaians to come to our aid, because looking at our coffers, we don't have that muscle to get the roofs fixed. And we also don't want to disturb learning and teaching in the various schools. So we are making a passionate appeal to benevolent societies and corporate bodies.
The district NADMO coordinator, Semaila Kabori, says his outfit is undertaking an assessment of the situation. He is appealing for support in order to get the school pupils back to the classroom.
Our outfit is not something that should rely on currently, as we have nothing in our stocks. I've already sent my report to the regional director, and I'm sure he'll be forwarding to the national, and we are waiting for national. So we actually fall in the district assembly. That's why we went around with the district assembly officials and then the education directors, reps and representatives, so that we go around to find out the actual state of the distraction and find out how we can try to remedy the situation in order to bring the pupils to classroom.
For now, the schools risk being shut down if they do not get any support. The head teachers have been making several appeals.
So we met as staff and PTA chairman to find interim solution to this challenge, because we can't hang around like that. So we have discussed that they should find a place for us to stay, maybe raising canopies so that we can get some cardboard, plywood, so that we can use as chalkboard for now and take their time to raise the structure for us.
I'm appealing to the general public, institutions and corporate bodies that can help the children of Stratford DA to have a conducive environment to learn, so that tomorrow they will also take up the leadership mantle to move our country forward. We're appealing to them to come and help us put up some classroom structures for them, so that the children can sit comfortably to learn as their counterparts are doing in other parts of the country.
Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejenyakon, Cape Coast.
My colleague Kwejenyakon joins us live with details of that letter following his story. Richard, what are the details of this letter from the local government ministry?
Well, Aisha, the letter dated 17th May makes reference to the documentary which highlights how these 10 schools have become a death trap. So 24 hours after the airing of the documentary, the Minister of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Dambuche, is asking the DC to, first of all, provide a detailed report on the status of the 10 schools. Secondly, an immediate proposal to enable pupils in these schools to continue with academic activities safely pending a permanent solution. And the last one, outline.
Richard Kwejenyakon is a man in Cape Coast. He's the one who put together this report. Hello, Richard Kwejenyakon. You were telling me about the details of the letter released by the local government ministry.
Yes, Aisha. So the first is to provide a detailed report on the status of the 10 schools. The second is an immediate proposal to in these schools to continue with academic activities safely pending a permanent solution. And thirdly, outline plans made by the Assembly to provide basic school structures as captured in the annual action plan.
What has your checks revealed? I mean, are these DCEs going to effect the changes? Have they started work already to ensure that what they're being asked to do, they've started?
So they have been having meetings upon meetings, deliberating on where to gather the resources or have the resources to carry out what the local government ministry is asking them to do. In fact, when we spoke with the DC earlier, he was lamenting about the lack of financial support to carry out these measures. So I believe that by close of day today, because today they've been meeting on this particular incident and be deliberating on the letter issued by the ministry, I think they would come out with an elaborate plan to ensure that these kids go back to school or do not study in some unhealthy or deplorable school structures.
This must make you feel good. I mean, at least hearing that the local government ministry is taking action to ensure that these schools are fixed must make you feel good as a reporter.
Well, so it's some refreshing news because, I mean, we've got a response to the predicament of some of these people. In fact, in another chat, the NADMO coordinator told me that it's not only about 10 schools, but they have about 15 schools. And so he's done the assessment and has done the proposal, and they will be tabling it before the appropriate authority. So it makes me feel very good that at least there would be smiles on the faces of these kids, knowing very well that in the cities, you see children comfortably seated in some well-crafted structures, but for them, their only hope is to get a place to even sit when it rains and when the sun even is high on the sky. So it makes me feel very good.
Godunako is our reporter in the Central Region. Let's go live to the Obura Sebu Kwamankese district, where the DCE Willie Evans Obri Yawa joins us via Zoom. I'm grateful for your time, sir. So have you received this letter we're talking about? What actions have you taken so far?
Yeah, thank you for the call. Currently, we are in a meeting deliberating over issues concerning to the letter that we received from the Ministry of Local Government. Yeah, community engagements have been conducted, and then we've secured lands for these various schools. Currently, as I speak, we've made a proposal to CODA to come to our aid, of which I think it will yield fruitful results. Thereabout. Other interventions, having the children housed in a temporary accommodation has also been carried out. And then as I speak, there's a new structure that has been considered by the Transport Ministry. We are making an appeal to them to open the school up for them, the structure for them to use as a new block for the school. So as I speak, we are in a meeting deliberating over these issues. So I think by the end of the day, it will yield fruitful results.
What would it take to get these structures fixed?
Well, we're in the process, so I can't give definite time to that, but in the shortest possible time.
So I know you are under pressure, and definitely this comes to you as good news because, like you've just complained to me, that you had challenges with resources to deal with this. If you get those resources, how long? Are you able to give timelines as to when these children would get a conducive environment to study?
Sorry, I cannot give definite time because as I speak, the funds are not available. So should I commit myself by saying tomorrow or the next day? I'm sorry, it's not possible that way.
But you're optimistic that the issues will be resolved?
Exactly so.
I'm grateful for your time. Willie Evans is the DCE of Obura Sebu Kwamankese. We'll take a break on JoyNews Desk. We'll bring you more shortly. Welcome back to News Desk. To the rest of our stories. The Eastern Regional Security Council has described as false claims that the alleged ritual murder video is from that region. A video circulating on social media suggests some men were killing people for rituals at a hideout purported to be in or around the regional capital, Koforidua, but a statement signed by the regional minister, Sete Champon, states that the entire report and video is totally false and must be treated with the contempt that it deserves. My colleague Raymond Aqua joins me now with details of that statement. Raymond, why are they responding to this issue?
Because first, the suggestion was that this happened in Koforidua, which under their purview. Secondly, people, and the statement actually makes that reference to it, their attention was drawn to the video and the audio circulating on social media, purporting that there's been a ritual murder in the region. They say, unfortunately, sections of the public have also linked the issue to the just ended burial rites. That is Dotiye of the late Omahin of the New Jobin traditional area, Dasibre Professor Oti Boatin, and the Queen Mother, Nana Deni II. So it is those connections that's actually making the region feel that we need to clarify this particular statement.
So what are they dismissing in that video?
So specifically, they single out that the entire report and video, which is not properly sourced, so it's with an unknown source, being circulated in the social media is purported to have happened in Koforidua and the Eastern region. This is totally false and must be treated with the contempt that it deserves. That's what they're saying.
All right.
So the video and also the entire report around it, because there's an audio that accompanies it. That's actually basically saying that, oh, we are doing this because of that and all of that. All of that is what they are dismissing, that it didn't happen in the region. Yeah.
The minister, the regional minister, has been speaking to this matter, but does he also talk about the other incidents that we've seen previously happen in the region?
Sir, there's no reference to any other incident connected. All that it states is that this is an alleged video circulating. This video has no connection at all to our regions. They have scanned the entire region for incidents of this sort, and there's no reported incident like this in the region. So there can be a claim that this is an incident that's happening.
But the regional minister himself has been the chairman of Parliament's Defence Committee. How does he feel about this, even if it's not coming from the Eastern region?
In fact, the statement proceeds to talk about what's been happening over the period and that they are put in place specific assurances to the people on what to do and that they are convinced that the region is safe and that the region is peaceful. And after the funeral, nothing else has been happening. If you recall, there was also another connection that we put all of this. You know, on Monday, the final burial day for the funeral, they actually asked everybody to stay indoors.
Yeah.
That is where people thought this incident happened. But they are insisting, in fact, they deployed the police and military and every security institution that's important in the country because of the relevant people that are thrown the region just to be part of this process, to go and protect the people. And as we speak, no such report has been given of any incident of this sort happening in the region.
So are they giving any other assurances?
Yes, in fact, the very penultimate paragraph of the statement specifically says that the good people and residents of the region should be rest assured that the security agencies shall continue to work hard to ensure safety, peace and security in the region. And they actually responded to the point. So the RESEC, the Regional Security Council, repeated the point that the region is safe and very peaceful.
We can now listen to the regional minister, Seth Echampo, who has been responding to these rumors.
Second, new job in traditional state organized the funeral rites, which is christened in our local parlance as the Dotiye of our late overlord, that's Ibrahim Professor Emeritus Otibuati. This funeral brought many prominent and eminent people of our society to our city of flowers, Koforidua, the capital of the Eastern region, which happens to be the pride of the new Gabon state. We lost both our king and our queen mother. We were honored with a visit of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, the Chief of Staff of the Office of the President, Honorable Akusia Frima Osei Opare, and the former President of the Republic, His Excellency John Ejikun Kufuor, both attended the event and paid the last respects to the royals who were late at the time. Presiding over the entire dossier was Dwabin Hine, who doubles up as the chairman of the Council of State. That's the Bro Truth Report.
Let's go to the Eastern region now and speak with correspondent Kofi Sian. Kofi, what can you report from that community and how are the residents responding to these assurances coming from the regional minister?
Okay, so when the news broke about some ritual murders in the region, people were taken aback and the residents were expressing shock and surprise at the incident. Myself, I had a few calls coming in to follow up on the issue, so I had to rush to the regional police headquarters in Koforidua, as well as the National or Regional Security Secretariat in Koforidua, because we had been told that a number of them have been arrested by the security personnel. But to my disappointment, when I got there, there was nothing like that. They were rather expressing surprise that we could have an information to follow like that. So after everything has been put out in the public domain, people started expressing fear. They were scared about what was happening. But I can tell you that for some time now, let's say 2 days ago, people are okay. What they are saying is that they have been able to verify from their friends, police officers, and all that, and it's been denied that this incident took place in the regional capital, Koforidua. So if you come here, even though some of them do still believe that this incident happened in one of the communities here, majority of them think that it is a false video which is being circulated to achieve a certain purpose.
But is this the first time we're hearing of something of this nature from that area?
Okay, this is the first time I personally I am hearing news of this nature from the regional capital, Koforidua, even though we've heard some in other places or the other districts and municipal assemblies. For Koforidua, this is the first time. And the surprising thing is that people could link it to the funeral that took place over the weekend.
Interesting. Kofi Sian is our correspondent in the Eastern region, and he's telling us how the community is reacting to these rumors. We'll bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. We can now go to the North Ridge, where my colleague Justice Beidou is standing by, and following the police and the Forestry Commission was working to relocate tigers in a private property which is scaring residents. My colleague Justice Beidou is joining me now with more. Justice, what's the current situation where you are?
So Aisha, as I speak to you, we understand that zoo operators and officers from the Wildlife Division are currently on their way to this neighborhood, and the work that they are going to do here is to basically to have a look at these animals for the first time and then begin the process of removing them from this neighborhood, and that I expect should happen in the next few hours. The officers at the Wildlife Division that I have spoken to will not confirm to me if the person who is said to be owning these animals, Nana Bediako, otherwise known as Cheddar, who also owns the Wonderworld estate, which is right behind me, has the legal permit to be able to own them and bring them into the country and then keep them, especially in a residential neighborhood like this one. You know, as we do understand, keeping carnivorous wild animals like tigers without the needed permit contravenes animal conservation laws in Ghana, and persons who are found culpable or to have flouted this law or to have had possession of these animals without the right permit could face up to a year in jail or up to a fine of about 10,000 cedis. And so, as it stands, this news broke yesterday, and the Forestry Commission and the Wildlife Division that works directly in charge of issues like this have told us that they do not have any record that there are legal permits for these animals to be kept in this neighborhood. We've been here for close to 2 hours now, and the mood in this neighborhood, a very upmarket neighborhood where many of the people who live here are very well-to-do people, diplomats, many government offices around. It's one of uneasy calm. A lot of the people usually would be within the estate, many of which are gated, and so we haven't seen much. What we've seen though is police presence, which has been here since last night. I understand, according to many of the residents who had gotten in police involvement because they weren't sure about their safety from last night. Aisha.
Have you cited the owner of these tigers himself, and how has he been reacting to all of these?
No, we haven't. We haven't seen any trace of Nana Bediako himself in this neighborhood at all since we've been here for close to 2 hours, as I did indicate. The only people that we found here are the facility managers who were here yesterday as well, and they are the people who tell me that everything is in order inside the estate. We've been denied access into the estate because, as I did say, this is a heavily protected area, and so we have been denied access into the facility. They won't confirm or deny the presence of the owner of the Wonderworld Estate himself, millionaire Cheddar himself, whether he is in the facility or out of the facility. As we do understand, and as our investigation has shown, this man owns a number of properties across the city, and it is very possible that he may not be here himself today. And so, yes, we don't have any confirmation that he is here at all at this point, Aisha.
Justice Bedo is my colleague who's monitoring this for us. We'll still bring you more as police and wildlife officials try to get those tigers out of the place. We'll bring you updates on that. Right now, let's look at the latest from the tech world. Spike Nkrumah is here. What's the latest?
Well, we've been seeing a lot of new devices being launched, and you know, Huawei has been under the radar for a while after all the issues they've been going through with the United States government, but that's not stopping them from launching new devices. Okay. So in the past few days, Huawei's launched a new smartphone, a new foldable phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So
foldable phone.
Yeah, foldable phone.
Okay.
But unlike the Samsung and the Vivos and the others who are folding inwards, this one is folding outwards. So you have the screen wrapping around the whole phone. Okay. And it's quite interesting, but it's not something that I think any Ghanaian would want to own, because considering our terrain here, if you drop that phone, yeah, you'll be having a very expensive piece of broken screen. So I don't think anybody would be wanting that. But then also there's so that's what you're seeing on the screen, that's the Huawei Mate XS2. So this is the second iteration of the device. There was an XS1, this is the XS2. So you fold it, you know, outwards, so you're behind the screen, behind the phone is more screen as in front. So if you're taking a selfie of someone, the person can actually see themselves on the back of the phone, because the screen wraps around the phone. Nice. Yeah, but
the protection of it's not guaranteed.
You can use this phone if you live somewhere in Alaska where there's snow everywhere.
You know.
But in Ghana, where you have gravels that are spikier than my hair.
Our phones fall like 100 times before day ends. So it's a nice technology, but there are issues. I won't go in.
No, I wouldn't either. They have the one that folds inwards. Yeah, that's fine.
That's a bit okay.
Yeah. I mean, nah, I can't even. I know myself. Everybody knows me. I drop stuff. I have butterfingers. And they also announced the Huawei Watch GT3 Pro, which is one of the best smartwatches on the market because of the long-lasting battery. It can last you like months on a single charge. But we've seen other smartwatches that you need to charge overnight.
Every day.
You know, every day you have to take it off, and it looks so premium. It looks so classy.
Solid. Yeah. It's really nice. Wow.
Yeah. Gone are the days where smartwatches look like disco watches.
Yes.
Now they're beginning to look.
But does it work with other phones?
Yes. So Huawei smartwatches, just like any other Android smartwatch, works with every other smartphone except for the other brand, which doesn't work for.
Yeah, I know that.
Well, they also launched some other watches, the Watch Fit 2, the Band 7, the Watch D, and S-Tag. The Watch D is interesting because it actually has a blood pressure monitor inbuilt. So
just like the iWatch?
So yes, so that one has an ECG. This has an actual blood pressure monitor. Okay. And it's cool. So
that's really cool.
They're launching it globally. We're looking forward to seeing that soon.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And moving forward.
And it checks your blood pressure.
Everything.
Every day.
You can check, your blood pressure, and I'm not a health person. I don't even know how to check my own blood pressure. I don't know what's good.
So a smartwatch that would do that for you.
A smartwatch that can tell you.
You should get one, I think. You should get one, and then probably get one for me. Yeah, thinking about that.
Yeah. So Emirates is moving to accept Bitcoin and NFTs.
Oh, really?
And yeah, they're looking to go big on the metaverse. So.
Okay.
If you have some Bitcoin and you want to fly next,
It's easy. They are making it easy for you.
They're going to accept Bitcoin, so now you can pay in Bitcoin to take a flight to wherever you're going.
Oh, that's
And they're planning on, going big on the metaverse so people can get more interactive. Imagine being able to experience an airplane, choose a seat, see what it feels like in the metaverse before you actually get to be in it. That's super cool. And NFTs
really,
also coming.
That's incredible. NFTs, We'll look forward to that. I patronize Emirates a lot. I think it's this
there you
is
go.
for
there you go. There you go.
Thank you so much, Mikey, for bringing us thick talk. I was about to say thick Thursday. We'll take a break on JoyNews Desk. When we return, there's a very latest coming from the business world.
Hello and welcome. Let's do business now here on News Desk with me, Beverly Broom. Government has promised to scale up various initiatives aimed at curbing unemployment in the country. This to ensure that no group of persons are left behind in the quest to end the rising rate of unemployment. Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Tremantin, gave the assurance in a keynote speech at a graduation ceremony for some 3,000 beneficiaries of a skills training program organized by the Ghana Enterprises Agency and the MasterCard Foundation.
The Ghana Enterprises Agency, in collaboration with the MasterCard Foundation, is in the process of presenting startup kits to beneficiaries who have successfully completed their apprenticeship program under the initiative. The GEA MasterCard Foundation Young Africa Works project is under one of the GEA's flagship programs, Youth Entrepreneurship Unemployment Program, undertaken by the GEA to equip the teeming youth with employable skills. According to the Trade and Industry Minister, Alan Tremantin, government is focused on such initiatives to curb unemployment.
Already you've been told that apart from Adenta, there are other centers across the country that have gone through the same exercise. So I want to assure the people of Ghana that government is serious about dealing substantively with this issue of unemployment. And we pray that, God willing, within the next few years, Ghana would have dealt decisively with the problem of creating jobs for all our people.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive for the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Kosi Yankee Aye, urged the beneficiaries to use the opportunity to create partnerships to help other unskilled youth in the society.
Once we see that you're doing so well, we'll come back again and assist you to grow your businesses and make them bigger. So as you've also come together, we hope that you will build partnerships and relationships amongst yourselves so that you learn from each other, so that you build each other up, so that you build your business relationships so your businesses grow. The Ghana Enterprises Program under the Young Africa Works project will continue to assist you. 1,000 of you, including Greater Accra, Ashanti, Northern Volta region, as well as the other regions, will receive support to register your businesses with support from the government under the Ministry of Trade and Industry to build more trade and more businesses to sustain the economy.
The beneficiaries who have received a 6-month training in various skills jobs are being provided with the necessary tools to enable them to start their business.
That'll be all for business. Up next is sports.
Time now for sports. Lawrence Radio is here with the very latest. The Black Queens want to make us proud again, right?
Black Maidens. Yeah.
Black Maidens,
Yeah.
okay. So what's up?
So they host Morocco today at the Accra Sports Stadium. It will be a final qualifier for the Under-17 World Cup, which takes place later this year in October in India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after 4 rounds of qualification, this will be the final hurdle for them. It's a 2-leg game, but then the first leg takes place today, and then it's a bit dicey for the maidens because throughout their qualification they've played some good football, but then as we've seen with the Moroccan side, they have developed their female side of the game in the last few years. So Morocco are a force to reckon on the continent at the moment.
Just like their men.
you won't give them a close shout as you give to the men, but then they are beginning to develop, and you see some kind of changes and then some kind of development in their game. One thing Ghana will have to be wary is the kind of defending. I think in the game against Guinea, we played quite well. When it came to Ghana, we faced some defensive mishaps, and then that could have been a worry for us. But then I trust Baba Nuhu and his ladies to do the job today. Ghana have participated in all six previous World Cups, and then they'll be looking to make it a 7th when they face Morocco. So the first leg is today at 3 p.m. So if you're a follower or if you're a fan of Ghana football, if you're a fan of the ladies or women's football, today will be probably a good time for you to go and show your support to the maidens at Accra Sports Stadium.
We wish them luck. We know they'll make us proud. Thank you, Lawrence,
Thank you, Aisha,
for bringing us sports. That'll be it for sports. Welcome back to Joy News Desk. Now, Onga Cook Art is back. I want you to join us as we tour 10 of the 16 regions of Ghana where 100 senior high schools battle it out for the supremacy of being the best culinary skills institution to make it to the 2022 GS National Onga Cook Art Competition. The top 15 finalists will compete for the ultimate crown every Friday and Saturday at 4 p.m. starting May 20, 2022. Let's look ahead to the next episode, and in the studio with me now is Felix Apia. He's with the Ghana Education Service and he's project lead Onga Cook. There's also project lead Onga Cook Art. She's Sandra Anoff, who is brands executive of Pomasido Ghana. Good to see you, ladies and gentlemen. First, let's start with what the motivation is actually to introduce such a program. Let me start with you.
Okay. Basically,
I say ladies first. I wanted to do ladies first, but you can go ahead, okay. Felix.
Basically, we wanted something for the vocational education. We wanted to promote vocational education in our culture. At a point, we realized the influx of foreign cuisines into our system. So we wanted to see a way we can improve, our local dishes, and then also improve the vocational education, and then have a competition for them in a way that it will motivate them, not only in the classroom, but also people who are watching can have the idea, okay, I want to do home economics because I know the prospects when it comes to the course. That was the general motivation, and then the main objective was to promote vocational education in our culture.
Okay. Sandra, let's look at what this whole cooking thing entails.
Okay, so Onga Cook Art is more like a competition, a cooking competition, a reality show that individuals at the home economics department of all our senior high schools get the chance to participate, show their culinary skills, and you know, in this industry, I believe we have a lot of prospects when it comes to cooking, culinary. And this is the time for these young ones to exhibit such skill. And as Onga, as a brand, when GS came with this initiative, we saw the need to jump on it. And, you know, it's good to nurture this kind of skill from the inception so that we can have good chefs, good restaurateurs, and, you know, food enthusiasts in future.
Okay, so, but it's been around for some time now. What has been the response so far, Felix?
This is our 4th year. We are in our 4th year, and It's been amazing. It's an amazing journey because so far, when we started this program, the enthusiasm is there. The schools are very happy we've started something at least. The idea that we are trying to promote vocational education, because now the vocational education is the one that is selling. The grammar is good, but then when we are able to improve vocational education, I think we can put Ghana on the map, because let's say our own indigenous food is being packaged in a way that we can sell it outside our shores. So like we are also importing some brands into our system, we can also export our brands also to some countries, which is a way we should go as a country. We should look at vocational education and entrepreneurship, so that at least when they come out from school, they can have something. At least they have the skill already, so they can, with entrepreneurship mindset, they can start a business. At least along schooling, they can start something, and I think that's the most productive thing we can do as an institution.
So she talked about every home economics student having the opportunity to participate. What's the criteria for selecting those who participate in this?
We have a regional competition and we have the national competition. On the regional competition is based on the YX standard.
Okay.
So we do all the regions will have their competition, and you have the preliminary stage of the competition. Then the national, we have all the qualifiers from the regional basis competing. We have 15 schools that will compete for the national ultimate later in the year.
Okay. So, Sandra, what should we expect in our next contest?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. We've done this for the past 3 years. This is the 4th edition, and trust me, for the first winners from last 3 years, Infantiman, Ikwapaman, and this year is going to be tough. So people should look out for great skill from these young ones. We don't need to do away with the skill that they have. They are really talented.
I know how to cook. Would you invite me over
of course.
as a guest to show my skills?
It would be good to have you part of the panels, just to see and just to appreciate the kind of skill young ones exhibit during this competition.
I would love to be there. And once it's food, I'm sure everybody wants to be there. So we'll look forward for that concert. Thank you so much. Sandra Anof, she's branch executive of ProMacedo Ghana, and Felix is also the project lead of Onga Cook Act. He's with the Ghana Education Service. And that'll be it for the bulletin this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. There's updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 12.